To be fair, croissants and French, so chucking it down the rain, like a train and ride in Scotland, like was deep fried Mars bar, I think.
Yeah, or Iron Brew.
I want to ride the North Plus 500 at some point. Could the hair cause drag? But looking back now, I don't really know how I managed to do that. Maybe after I would like to kind of get back involved with some mountain bike racing.
Finn, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm absolutely loving the mullet. It's
Thank you
growing
very
out
much,
well.
yeah. Work in progress.
How many months have we been working on that project?
I think it's kind of been since December, so yeah, kind of five, 6 months now. But yeah, it's still kind of a work in progress, and I'm deciding how long I'm going to keep it. But I'm quite enjoying it at the minute.
Is it going to be on peak form for Paris? That's what we want to know.
Potentially, although I'm kind of like, could the hair cause drag? So I'm kind of, do I go back to kind of, yeah, what it was? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe we have to get the public to vote on it. Maybe we could get
a
poll going.
Get a poll, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Brilliant. Well, look, thanks for joining us on the Scottish Cycling Sofa this morning.
Thanks for having me.
We want to unpick a bit about your story. So I want to go right back to the start and growing up in the Borders. Can you remember your first cycling experience?
Yeah, I think like again, growing up in the Borders is a good place for cycling. Like I lived in a little village called Skirling, so I think it was about 25-30 minutes from Peebles and obviously Glentress. And from a young age, I'd go like my parents rode, and not say my parents rode. It was just like they did it for a bit of fun and everything. So we'd go along, and one of them would ride whilst looking after me and my brother, and then obviously they'd like take turns in doing that. But then as we kind of got older, we then got our bikes and we got involved, and just kind of messing about in like the skills loop area that was there at the time.
So this is mountain bike, I'm guessing.
Yeah, mountain biking, and it was like, yeah, we just kind of loved getting muddy, getting involved. And then obviously, again, when you get older, the sibling rivalry starts to kick in as to who can go quicker down these trails, who can do the bigger jumps. And then my dad's just as competitive as us as well, so it's like he didn't want to be kind of getting beat by his kids. So it was always kind of, yeah, who could go the quickest, who could jump the furthest. But yeah, no, it's when your whole family does it, it's so much easier to get involved with, and it makes it a lot more fun and enjoyable when that happens.
So who could jump the highest, go the furthest, quickest?
It was my dad for a while, and it is now my brother. Annoyingly, like he is a lot better than me on the downhill and jumps and stuff on a bike. He doesn't enjoy the racing side of things, but yeah, he like when he gets on a bike, he is a bit good, which is frustrating.
I can sense it in your voice.
Yeah. Again, obviously, I don't like losing, but it's yeah, he's now like he's not got that. I don't know if like there's times where I'll look at stuff and go, it's not worth the risk, and by that point he's already gone over it, and like I'm just looking quick. Yeah, no chance. But no, it's still nice getting to ride with them all when I can. But yeah.
Older or younger brother?
Younger. So I think again,
it's even more bitter for you.
Yeah, but I think again, as a younger brother, you kind of feel like you've got a point to prove or something, and it's just like, yeah, there's no kind of he's got a screw loose, and yeah, he'll just fully commit to. And to be fair, it's quite nice following him down stuff, and there'll be times where he'll go off something and I'll just follow him because I'm doing it, and then realise what I've just done, and then go, yeah, maybe that, like if I'd have like stopped and looked at it, I wouldn't have done it. But yeah, he does just kind of go down things without thinking, and yeah, send massive jumps.
So what if we just dropped you in to like an Ep.6 tomorrow? How are you going to get on? You're obviously fit enough.
Yeah, to be fair, I have been thinking about that recently. I was like, maybe after I would like to kind of get back involved with some mountain bike racing. I think cross-country racing though is just a completely different level of fitness to like road or track and stuff. It's so punchy.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where when I kind of obviously moved over to the road and track, I took my mountain bike down and went and did a lap of Cathkin. And obviously I used to race at it, and I got on fine, but then I went and just kind of rode a lap, and I was like on my knees by the end. Like, I was like so out of breath and stuff on the climb. It was like, how's it this hard? But like I think because it's such steep climbs where you're like maxing out the heart rate, and then you're kind of the heart rate's just as high on the downhills as well. So it's but no, I would like to maybe next year when the pressure's off, I'd like to come and get involved with some SXEs again.
Nice, that'd be cool. And then you moved up north. How old were you at that point? From the borders up to the Black Isle?
It was 2008, so I was like just turning 9.
And carried on mountain biking up there before you started to get involved with track and road.
Yeah. So again, I moved north when I was like just turning 9. Obviously, kind of grown up riding at Glentress. Moving up to the Highlands, it was a completely different kind of riding. Like it was much more like technical, natural trails.
Yeah.
We'd go out and do like days out on the bike over like Torridon Way, like riding kind of like more like hike a bike type stuff. And then even just like growing up, like we had the Struthpuffer course on our doorstep.
Yeah.
And again, that's different to anything that I've been used to at Glentress. And I think it took a bit of getting used to. And it wasn't kind of like the speed and the like jumps that we had at Glentress. But I think that really then kind of like progressed my riding because like you got like the technical aspect and you learned to ride obviously the more technical trails. And then more like over the years the trails have developed where we are, and there's now like loads of kind of like downhilly type natural trails that just the locals have built. And I do now prefer that to Glentress.
Yeah.
Like I've not been to it since it's been redone for the Worlds, and I would like to go back and see what it's all like. But yeah, it's really nice to have the amount of trails that we do and the amount of options we do on the doorstep to just go out into the hills and just mess about on the mountain bike or gravel bike and stuff now as well.
Yeah, nice. I suppose we should talk about road and track a little bit, shouldn't we? When did that transition first happen? Can you pinpoint it?
Yeah, so it was, I just left school at the end of summer of 2016. I kind of didn't really know what I was like wanting to do. Like I obviously in my head I was always like I want to be a professional cyclist. And I'd grown up racing against able-bodied athletes, riders, and just got stuck in with it. But it was getting to the point where the gap was kind of starting to get a bit bigger and bigger. And I was kind of looking and going, maybe it's not going to happen. And then leave school in the summer of 2016. I go out and spend two months in America with like friends, like working on a farm. But then whilst that's going on, obviously the Rio Olympics and Paralympics were happening, and I was watching them and like watching the Paralympics. I was like, maybe the Paralympics is an option. Like had never thought about that before.
Until that point. Until
so
late.
That, like really, yeah, like because again, I'd been brought up with the just getting involved, not using it as an excuse, not even kind of thinking about it as a disability or whatever. And I was watching, and then I come home and I'm like, I messaged, like emailed British Cycling just asking kind of like what's the process and what do I need to do, what do I need to do to even be like classifiable or whatever, and then the email back saying, oh, there's a Talent ID Day in Derby in October of 2016, in which I go along to, and it was a 3-minute and a 12-minute power test. I'd never done anything like that before, so I had no idea what I was doing. I was just basically going as hard as you can for 3 minutes and 12 minutes. And from that, they liked what they saw, and then they invited me onto the foundation program. And again, like at this point, I still wasn't really sure whether I was going to be classifiable. It wasn't until the January 2017 track nationals here in Manchester, I got classified, and originally I was classified as a C4. It wasn't until I went away to my first World Cup that I got put to C3, which I've now been confirmed as. But yeah, I came here in January with all the kind of like medical documents to get classified. And actually, to be fair, whilst I was getting classified, my road bike was on the roof of the car that my mum was driving in the car park. Yeah. We come back out and it had been nicked. And I was like, oh, for good, like, and this was, and like they were, when we came back out to the car after we'd like reported it and everything, there was people looking in the car window at the track bike that was inside, and I was like, that would have been an absolute disaster of a first kind of race experience in Manchester, and the road bike gets nicked, and so that was a bit of an experience. But no, that was my first race weekend of paracycling.
Nice. And I suppose for those who don't know, just describe the disability. How does it affect you?
It's bilateral talipes. It affects both legs. When I was 13 weeks old, I had an operation to try correct them because they were my feet were twisted in.
Yep.
And it's corrected it to a point on the left foot where I don't need to wear an orthotic or anything. Like, it's still limited movement in my ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not been able to build the muscle up like normal. Whereas on the right one, I wear an orthotic still, and my calves, there's barely any muscle in them at all. Yeah. And even if I were to try move my ankle, it's pretty much fused. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've got no movement in the right side. But again, it's just on the bike, I don't really I think it's. I was speaking with some people about this the other day. I think because I was born with it, it's like
all you've ever known, isn't it?
All I know. So it's I don't know what I've missed out on, or having it has obviously provided me these opportunities. But yeah, no, it's something that I've lived with, and it's not really kind of preventing me from being able to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And once you started on the track and road journey, I know you were still living up north and down as part of the Scottish cycling programme for quite a while in Glasgow, weren't you?
Yeah. So again, to begin with, I was, again, at the time, obviously you're well excited about it, getting involved, but then thinking back, I was like, that was not beneficial at all. Before I kind of got into the Scottish cycling stuff, I was getting the train down early Wednesday morning, doing a 3-hour session Wednesday afternoon, and then getting the train back home in the evening. So it's you spend 6-7 hours traveling a day for a 3-hour session.
Yeah.
And then having to fit work in and around that as well. But then obviously as I kind of started to develop, then Scottish cycling started helping out massively. Again, to be fair, from the start, Dave Daniels was helping me even before I got on the Scottish cycling thing. And then Scottish cycling started helping me out, allowing me to join in sessions on Tuesday and Thursday as well. So I was able to stay down for a bit longer, which made it obviously a lot more beneficial than just cramming it all into the one day and getting the use of the gym, getting 2 track sessions a week and stuff like that. But then again, I was still having to go back home and work in between, and fit all that in and around training. So it was hard, but again, it's at the time you're just really wanting to make it work. So yeah, you find a way to do it. But looking back now, I don't really know how I managed to do that.
Yeah. It is often when you look back, isn't it, that you think, wow.
You don't realise, when I moved to Manchester, I realised how much recovery actually is a big part of riding and kind of development. Whereas, when I was living in the Highlands, I just didn't get the recovery at all because I was working, travelling or training. But yeah.
Absolutely.
All part of it.
It's clearly paying off with where you're heading, and that's probably a good tangent to say, please help yourself. We've got some nice, authentic French pastries. And while you tuck into that, we've got a little French phrase book to help you prepare for your upcoming voyage. So I don't know, what is your French like?
Shocking.
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 Don't know where the word shocking's in this book, but we'll have a look. We kind of at the beach. I don't know whether there's many beaches in France. Swimming pool at the gym.
Swimming pool, is that piscine?
It is piscine. What about an outdoor swimming pool?
Some piscine outdoor.
Pretty much. Une piscine de couverture. I've probably butchered that as well. So hopefully there's not too many French fans watching on. And presumably around the track you'll still be doing some gym work. So you might need to know, is there a gym?
What is that in French?
That is il y a une salle de gym. So give you that one.
Useful phrases, although again, I don't really use the gym that much because it just hurts. But
fair enough. And what about food? What kind of food would you want to order in France? Do you like any French food in particular?
I mean, pastries.
Pastries.
But they do good bread, croissants.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, croissants in French, isn't it? So.
It's quite simple, as is une baguette.
Yeah,
We've got
exactly.
that. It's in the book in case you need it. Maybe we could send you with this, as is une pain au chocolat. So nailed it.
Classic.
We're right on
Can't
cue.
go wrong.
So yeah, we can give you this little book, and then that'll help you out
very useful.
on
Yes,
your travels.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, looking ahead to Paris and France, and I suppose you're sat here. You're a 6-time world champion now. Like that, the last few years have been just an unbelievable period for you. But that link to France, your first track world titles, I think was it 3 of them, came in France in 2022.
Yeah. The individual pursuit, the scratch race, and the Omnium. In Paris, and again obviously on the track that we're going to be racing on, so it's kind of a nice kind of warm up essentially for the games. But yeah, no, I mean since Tokyo, like my performances have been getting better and better, which is amazing. Is amazing for me. Is amazing to see, and it's kind of all the hard work paying off. Like after Tokyo, obviously coming away with the 2 silver medals. I wanted to make the step up, and the year after I was like, I really want to come away with a world title in 2022, sorry. And being able to then win 4 that year was, I didn't really expect that at all. And then obviously then coming into Glasgow with that world, like it's, again, I still get goosebumps thinking about like racing in a full velodrome in front of that Scottish crowd. It was unreal. And it's going to be like, it was basically a run out for the games because we had track straight into roads, and that's what it's going to be at the games. So it was like a dry run for Paris, and it went well. So I'm hoping that come Paris, like the performances will kind of carry on, and the good results will keep coming.
And you say dry run, the road was a wet run. But that for me, that was one of the moments, tail end of those World Championships. And I didn't actually get down to Dumfries and Galloway at all. But watching it, that was it kind of sticks in my mind. Kind of how do you replay those closing stages of that road race?
Yeah, like it was. I mean, to be fair, coming into the road race, obviously I'd got the silver in the time trial a few days beforehand, but missing out by like a second and a half, I think, and I was devastated. Like, to be that close 2 years in a row, and it's just like what does it take? Like, what do I need to do? And at that point, I just accepted like I'd won the individual pursuit. That's what I'd like. If I could have picked one, that's what I would have picked. So I was kind of going into the road race going like, I've done what I've wanted to do. I'm still in a bit of a kind of like bad mood about losing the time trial, so I was just kind of starting the road race going, well, just like get round and like start the off season basically. But then after about a lap, 2 riders had gone up the road, and after a lap I was like, right, okay, I'm now actually up for it, and I'm now on the back foot. So I need to get back. I need to get up to the front, and it took a little while to get up, and obviously it was Ben and then a French rider, and once I got up I was like, right, okay, I'm trying to recover as best as possible, because I knew that the rider that Ben is, he's not going to want it to bring it to a sprint, and I didn't quite know how the French rider was going to be, because he was a C4 and he'd been classified down to a 3. So I didn't really know how he was like riding and if he was strong or not, but it was nice having 2 GB riders, because we were able to basically just use that to our advantage. And then as it was then coming back into Dumfries, or like into the Crichton and stuff, it was obviously chucking it down the rain, like a training ride in Scotland. You kind of come into your own, and then I was able to win the sprint, and I think unfortunately the weather did prevent the kind of the crowds and stuff coming out. But still it was like winning any World Championships is special, and again doing it in Scotland and being able to do it twice was amazing.
Nice. So go on then, some kind of quick fire questions. What do you prefer, track or road? Or mountain bike? Yeah. That'd be the controversial answer though, wouldn't it?
At home when I rode the mountain bike, I was like, I do miss it, but I think like the road's good when the weather's good. Like it's very much kind of dependent on the weather. Like going out to Mallorca, doing training rides, and to be fair, track's good at times, but I think it's a lot more like claustrophobic. Like you just spend all day inside. So I think in the summer, the road is hard to beat.
Yeah. And so if you could pick one ride in Scotland, your favourite route, or what would it be?
It's a little bit from my house, but riding over the Bealach,
Yeah.
like it's a nice climb. And then
Which way are you going?
From Lochhaven way.
Okay.
So like up, and then the drop down into Applecross, and then
Yeah.
go to Applecross in for lunch or something, and then
Nice.
like,
Yeah.
I've not quite like, and again, I do keep meaning to like, I want to ride the North Coast 500 at some point. But yeah, I've done. To be fair, I've done the Bealach a couple of times, and it's always just been going up and down to Applecross, and then just climbing back up over again. But then I think I was at home last year, and I did a bit more of a loop to just kind of like not climb as much, but it is well nice around there.
One you'd recommend to anyone watching? I've
Yeah.
not done it. I need to do
Yeah.
it. Have you given it a nudge?
No, I've not actually. Again, it's something that I would like to do,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's a bit too well, it's not a bit like it's just a bit of a drive to get to, rather than just being it like the ease of just getting changed and going out from the door, rather than like driving out to then do a ride. But yeah, no, it's something I'd like to do at some point.
Yeah, nice. And you're on your pan of chocolat at the moment, or making slow progress.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm such a slow eater, honestly. Like everyone that knows, like I whenever we're in a restaurant, I need to order first because I'm gonna be last finishing. Because I'm like, I don't know if sociable eater is a thing, but I'll end up just talking loads and then not actually eat.
Yeah. So what's your food of choice? What would you go for? French or other, of course.
Italian's class. Again, it kind of depends what mood you're like. We've just been away racing in Italy, and the pasta there's class. Like the food options are amazing. But I think I'm fairly kind of there's nothing that I won't eat. But I'm open to
snails, frogs' legs.
To be fair, I probably would give them a try.
Yeah, we should have brought some along.
Yeah, that's where you kind of go from behind the sofa. But like, I think I maybe would give them a try. But I don't really understand why that's a thing. But I suppose they might look and go like, why is deep fried Mars bar a thing?
Yeah, or iron brew.
But
how wrong they are. So what motivates you? What's your biggest motivation?
I don't know. Like I just enjoy riding my bike. Like, and I think I've always enjoyed the racing side of things. I don't know if that's just the social side of like with doing it with your mates. Or like obviously you go into the racing and you want to win it, and there's certain objectives to tick off. Like you want to be world champion, you want to be Paralympic champion. But I think I do just like I've grown up riding my bike, and that's why I do it. And I'll do it for as long as I enjoy it, because the minute it starts to become a chore, it's just like
So I was going to ask, are you an advocate of it's got to be fun, otherwise you shouldn't be doing it?
I think so. Like, and again, I'm not going to lie and say that it's fun all the time. Like there are harder points, like especially in the middle of winter when you're looking out the rain going sideways, and you've got 4 hours to do, and you're like,
do I have to do
rest?
this? Yeah.
Knowing full well that people in Spain are like enjoying themselves in the sun, and you've got to slog away in the peaks and like sleet and stuff. But like when the results come, it does make it all worthwhile. But you do know that there are days that are going to be harder than others, and it's just kind of getting through them. But when the good days come, it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. And what about your biggest fear? That could be cycling or other. It could be a phobia or something.
I hate roller coasters.
Okay. Is that something that you've experienced by being on one, or is it that you won't go on them?
I won't go on them.
Yeah.
And I think just stuff like doing something like a parachute jump or a bungee jump, that'd freak me out. Like I wouldn't do that. I like being in control, and I think stuff like a roller coaster, you're not in control of it. But when you get that feeling in your stomach, and everyone like, that's the point. It's like, but that it doesn't feel natural at all.
Okay, then. So here's one for you. You don't like being out of control. What about being on the back of a tandem with Jenny? Would you be comfortable, or would you be?
I'd much rather be on the front of the tandem.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Because I think from what pilots have said when they've had people on the back that have tried to you're trying to steer, like you're trying to control the bike yourself from the back, which obviously is a lot worse than just letting the person on the front do it. But yeah, no, I would much rather be on the front of the tandem.
Good. Well, for now, we'll keep you on your individual bike.
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Keep you safe and well, and look forward to a very successful summer ahead.
Yeah, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Nice, thank
Cheers.
you very much. Thank you.